starting. So is this new league going to use the same courses as the PGA? Because we've already heard PGA is not a fan of this new league.
Okay, look, before we even jump into that, break it down. I'm a little kid, right? I don't even know my ABCs. You're teaching me ABCs right now. Simplify it right now. What the hell's going on with this league? How is it funded? Who's playing in it? Like the whole works of it.
So, you know what? I mean, this new league alone has really brought golf to like a whole new discussion. What it's done is it's sort of opened up a Pandora's box in golf because a lot of the players, they're choosing to branch away from the PGA, and it's not necessarily, in my opinion, for good reasoning, because the Saudi tour, they're throwing so much money at these guys that they're just running for the money.
Well, I guess that makes sense if you're a middle of the tour guy, right? Like if I'm Max and say you're Tiger and I'm Max and I'm 150th in the world, I'm never really going to win a major. If that tour was like, hey, bro, we'll pay you double what you're making now, I feel like I'd be a fool not to.
Can't blame them.
And I mean, they offered Tiger $1 billion. $1 billion to join this damn thing.
You know what? I would believe it. I would believe that number.
The way I'm thinking of it, though, is like, why are golfers just up for grabs? Like, why wouldn't you get like Steph Curry, Tony Romo, guys who are amateur golfers? Yeah, they're not the best. They're not PGA Tour guys. They won't win a Masters or anything, but they can compete out there. For a fact, I know like Steph Curry can compete with an actual pro golfer. Like, why wouldn't you just pay those guys a bunch of money just to boost the league?
Waters it down where it's like if this? Well, I would say that would water it down if you're trying to get like
water it down, and I think it'll kind of diminish the credibility of the new tour out there. Guys are leaving for two reasons. One, I mentioned earlier, for the money, just like you mentioned, Max. Like if your better days are behind you, then I think you're going to join that tour, right? Like Phil Mickelson. I mean, yeah, the guy's still winning majors. He won a major as soon as last year, but I think he's about 50 years old now, and he went for it because this is, I think, guaranteed money. You don't have to win a tournament out there to get paid that money. They're getting the money without even just for signing up. It'll take you on the PGA Tour here in the States for you to make $100 million. I think you got to win 50 tournaments. And the likelihood of that happening is just not physically possible.
And from my knowledge, what I've been finding out about this too is golfers, when they go on the Masters or any of these tours, they don't get paid for their hotels. They don't get paid for meals. They don't get paid to fly out there.
That's big.
All of this is out of their pocket.
That's the big thing about that.
That seems so idiotic in retrospect. Like, how could the PGA's make? Do you think the PGA's making enough money to board these guys and give them food?
You know what? Probably so, but I kind of appreciate the fact that in a golf tournament, in the PGA, if you don't make the cut line, you go home with no money. So you got to cover your expense to get in and to get out of that tournament.
So how does that work? Like, so I understand, like, I think there's like a golfer's ranking system, right? Like you get points, and that's how they determine how you get into these tournaments. So if they join this league, like what happens? Are they out? Are they not allowed to come back? Do you save your points? Like,
the crazy thing about this league is there is no cut line. Yeah, you guys heard it. There's no cut line.
Wow.
So, I mean, in a way, it's less competitive if you ask me, and it's not as enticing to watch those first 2 days, because in PGA Tour, Thursday and Friday is very exciting because it's who's going to make it and who's not going to make it.
Yeah, it's like Tiger shooting horrible. He's not going to make it. Right. It's like crazy.
So the U.S. Open is happening this week in the States. It's the hardest tournament. I think it's harder than the Masters because they picked the hardest tournament going on, the hardest course, I should say, in the States during that time, and they picked that course. So Phil just got a whole... People been going off on Phil this week because he didn't make the cut line, and he's left for the Saudi tour. So he's getting a bad rap.
Wow. Wasn't there a guy, was it Dustin Johnson who was suspended, or was it Bryson DeChambeau who joined the Saudi tour and got suspended indefinitely? I think I read that online that one of them.
What's crazy is they suspended these guys. So the Saudis, they announced that, no, the PGA Tour, my bad, announced that they're going to be suspending guys going over there. But all the names that have joined, they all played this week. They're all, Sergio Garcia is playing in the U.S. Open. Phil's in there. A lot of these guys are still playing. Colin Morikawa is like leading. I think he's up in the pack, and he's one of the latest golfers to join the LIV tour. So I think the tour might have taken their stance on that back because people still want to see these guys. I mean, how could you not want to see Dustin Johnson still on the PGA Tour? He's one of my favorite guys. Or Colin Morikawa. I mean, I took lessons with his instructor, crazy enough, when I was a kid, and he's grown up to be one of my favorite golfers. So I think that'll hurt the league, the tour, I should say, in the long run. But yeah, I mean, I hope they lower their stance on that.
Do you think it's maybe just like PGA's like, I'm the big kid on the block, and just this like competition, they're kind of just like, whoa, we don't like that. We don't really want to see.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the NFL and the XFL the first time.
Yeah, or maybe even going back to the USFL in the 80s where they were like, holy crap, these guys are getting Herschel Walker out of college. And like people are spurning the NFL. So maybe the PGA is kind of lashing out because it's like, damn, you guys are spurning us. You guys know who we are. We're the PGA goddamn tour.
Yeah. That's what's funny about that is that I think the Masters is different though. That one is invitational. Like you get to pick whoever. Like it doesn't matter who is leading in the ranks. Like you can just, it's an invite only.
So the Masters, it's actually based on two things. It's world rankings. So in the world, you got to be like top, I think it's like top 150 or 125.
They have that many golfers to the Masters?
Oh, there's So,
wow,
Masters
holy
is huge.
Shit.
Right.
That's my favorite one. I like the Masters.
Juan just wants that green jacket.
Juan, you're just traditional here. Masters. So yeah, it's based off of world rankings, and actually, if you win the Masters, you're invited for life.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing about that.
Wow. That would be like a pretty good, like you could just like never do anything again and just be like, I got this one tourney a year.
So is this gonna last? Do you feel like this is here to stay?
You know what? It's interesting. LIV, that's the name of the Saudi tour.
Yeah.
They got 4 out of the top 20 golfers in the world right now on their circuit.
I mean, you say 4, but
that's
these
a good
are
number.
Huge. No, but these are huge guys,
right?
You know what I mean?
You're talking Victor Hovland,
Dustin Johnson,
Colin Morikawa.
Did they get to DeChambeau too?
They just got Bryson DeChambeau. That's a big one, and he's
like a polarizing guy in general.
Right now, he's been taken off. He's been so good for the PGA. I just got word that 2 or I think maybe even a couple more new names are going to be added to that list on Monday morning, the day after the U.S. Open is through.
Well, I think when you start something new like this, you always got to worry about financial backing. Like the XFL folded. There was like, damn, we just can't keep pouring money in. But we know one thing about people from Saudi Arabia or the people backing it. They got plenty of bucks.
They can't spend the money fast enough.
They're making it and they can't spend it. They're having a good old time having this new golf league.
Funny thing about the name, too, the LIV.
I would be thinking of a Super Bowl for some reason.
No, that's where they got it. It's a joke. Like they kind of did it because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, something about the owners or something. There's like this inside joke with them. Like when the losing team has all that gear from the Super Bowl, they're like, where the fuck does it go? Like it's just a big ass waste. So apparently like they bought it. Like they bought that gear or something. And that's why it's called the LIV.
So did they watch that like E60 when they had like the Patriots perfect season gear and they all like talked about where it went? That's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, but I'm really interested to see where it goes because look, this is a whole different situation from football in particular because football, I feel like one aspect that's you're not gonna have with this is the violence of it. You're like. The violence on the football field, you can get hurt at any fucking time.
Right.
Bodies are just dropping.
I thought you were talking about like golfers like beating up other golfers with clubs. I was like, what do you mean violence, bro?
No, like you're not gonna have this worry about joining this league and be like, fuck, if I get hurt and I do get an opportunity to go to the PGA Tour, like, what if I get hurt?
Yeah, what if I turn my ACL like week 1?
Exactly.